Hi, Thomas. Really good to see you. Today, we have an important question. How much cash should I have on hand in retirement? Your emergency fund is always important. We know that, especially considering how volatile the markets have been recently. So, I want you to outline precisely how much cash we should have on hand in retirement. But what's a general rule of thumb when we're trying to establish that emergency fund?
Yeah, typically, I'm pretty sure you've heard before that 3 to 6 month rule is the deal. For most people, you want to have at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses in the event that you lose a job, have some sort of medical issue, or you can't work or something like that. You want to be able to take care of your expenses for 6 months. I think in retirement, it's probably going to be a little bit more concerning to have a lot more on hand in the event that funds don't come in or your portfolio is not performing very well. I tell my clients you want to have about 12 months
Hmm.
of an emergency fund. In addition to that, you maybe even want to have like a home equity line of credit or something like that in addition to that. So if you need to get access to some funds, you'll be able to take care of your expenses for the next 12 months.
Yeah, and just to underscore the obvious, cash is important to have on hand so that we're not dipping into our retirement savings to cover living expenses.
For sure. Absolutely. I totally agree. I've had a few clients in my past that have, pulled money out of their portfolios to kind of live on. It really can hinder the performance of a portfolio in a down market. So I'm not an advocate of saying pulling money out. Obviously, if there's an emergency, you need to get to it, then, you got to do what you have to do. But you don't want to start there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Right. And do you need more cash on hand when the markets are volatile?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. A lot of times when there's a lot of volatility in the market, sometimes I put some of my clients in cash just to kind of wait it out. I don't time the market, but depending on where they're at in their overall retirement strategy, cash may be a good place to be able to dump back in the market when we find that dip. But absolutely, in volatile markets, having cash on hand is definitely important.
Yeah, and it's important because of what's known as sequence of returns risk, right, Thomas? Which is if you retire at the beginning of an up market versus a down market. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, and this is something that I cover in some of my financial seminars that I do. You have two different types of clients. One had both same amount of money that they have in the accounts. One decides to pull money out, same rate in a down market versus somebody who pulls it out in an up market. And if you notice there, if you get to the bottom over 15 years, if you're pulling out $5,000 a month or a year over 15 years, if you see in the up market at an annual rate of return of 4%, you'll still have roughly about 105,000 in an up market. Okay. In a down market, same deal, $5,000 a month annual return of 4%. You notice that in 15 years, you're down to about 35K in that same type of portfolio. So definitely want to consider when you're pulling money out in a down market, it can really, really hinder your overall portfolio and the performance.
Okay, good to know. Now, how about inflation? I mean, that's still the story of the day. The CPI recently hit 9.1%. I think a lot of people are concerned about having a lot of cash on hand because it is essentially losing buying power every day.
For sure. I'm still an advocate depending on where you're at. And if you're in that retirement phase, you want to have about 12 months of cash on hand. Anything over that, you want to probably start looking at, we discussed before, maybe those I bonds, they're geared towards inflation. You also might want to look at some multi-year guaranteed annuities, that 1 to 3 year phase, that can earn you some funds in regards to what the inflation is doing. And then if you're really concerned about inflation on the long term, I help my clients with positioning different types of income annuities or income and annuities that you don't have to worry about the longevity of your money. It's going to be there guaranteed for the rest of your life. So those
Yeah.
are a few options that I talk to my clients. But any event that you want to have that conversation, definitely give me a call and we can go through some strategies to help you out in
Well,
regards.
Thomas, how do people reach you? You're leading me right into the question.
Absolutely. You could definitely reach out on my website, at martinheritagegroup.llc.com. You can also shoot me an email at info@martinheritagegroup.llc.com. And then you can give me a call at 651-503-6064. And I'm on all social media
Mhm.
platforms at MHG, MHG LLC. There you go.
Perfect. Thomas, thank you.
Thank you.